Hey, what's up everyone? This is Walter, and I'm back here once again with more nice guys from Reddit. Yeah, 2 days in a row. I came across a long post when I was almost done with the last video, so I thought I'd bring it to you. Nice guys are men who seem to think that being nice is enough to get them a girlfriend. It's not exactly a bad trait, but it's hardly enough to base your entire personality around, especially if you're faking it. Let's begin with nice guys from Reddit. These posts come to us from Reddit Nice Guys, a place where you too can send your nice guy conversations for Reddit to laugh at. Long title on this one too. Nice guy told me to stop talking to him after I said my boyfriend and I were going to my hometown. After a week, this is what he posted on social media. Nice guy and I were acquaintances in high school. 2020 grad. This May we started talking again and became friends. We are separated geographically now. It's unfair what she did to me. The way she stepped into my life so effortlessly gave me feelings of pure joy I had never thought I would feel again. The way she convinced me that I was at the absolute center of her world, that no matter how much time or distance was between us, she was always going to have space in her heart for me. And just as quickly as she pulled me in, she pushed me away in order to replace me with someone new. Oh, this is already killing me. Writing this on your social media about an ex would be bad enough, but these people never dated. She said they were just friends. It feels like I'm struggling in a never-ending storm, and no matter how hard I fight, the waters are just rising too fast, and the waves crashing too hard for me to stay afloat. And I've spent so much time being caught up on whether or not she meant to hurt me. I never stopped to just accept the reality of what she did to me. It's not okay the way she played at my heart, and whether she meant it or not doesn't matter. I set clear boundaries in our relationship, and when she kept changing her mind on how much commitment she wanted to have, she blatantly violated those boundaries in ways that showed absolutely zero respect for my own mental state. And what makes all of this so unfair is how perfect we used to be together, and how the distance between us ruined what we had. I use that word, unfair, because I can't fathom any other word to describe the way I feel. It's a type of pain that never goes away. Much like the pain of losing a loved one to the relentless grip of death, only in this case the death is figurative instead of literal. My god, it just gets worse and worse. Yeah, I'm sure the distance between these two people who have never even dated is comparable to losing a loved one forever. In my mind, I don't see any way she's ever going to return to me, so it feels like she's died. But I know she's not dead, and that's what makes it feel so unfair. Unfair that I have to trek this seemingly never-ending path of thoughts and emotions on my own, without any tangible guiding star to aid me, while she gets to move along and live out all her fantasies with a man, who at the end of the day will always be better than me simply because he's closer. His friends are probably in the comments like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." Seriously, this might be a discussion to have with his psychiatrist if it's really this bad, instead of everyone on his social media. And I'm sure she'd have no problem with it if he moved on and lived out all his fantasies with a man. That's not what he meant? And I don't know what that feeling is. It's not jealousy. What I'm feeling is something more related to inferiority, mixed with a terrible despair. Because it's true, the distance has made me inferior. For all my love, all the effort I put into our relationship, all the times I poured my heart out to her, just to show her that no matter how much distance was between us, my love for her would never falter. None of it meant anything if I couldn't physically be there. It's the not being there that makes me feel this despair, like an invisible mass holding me down, and everything around me is just ever so slightly out of phase with its surroundings. And it's unfair that there's nothing I can do to fix the distance between us. But I think what's really eating away at me the most is the overwhelming sense of worry that this supposedly perfect man that she was so quick to replace me with is going to do nothing but hurt her in the end. And she's never going to realize it until it's too late for her to be saved. This is beautiful. He makes sure to let you know that if she gets hurt, he's actually the biggest victim. Just a poor nice guy finishing last because she'd totally date him instead if he lived closer. As much as I hate what she did to me, I will never be able to forget the good times we had, and I know despite what happened between us, my feelings for her are ever going to dissolve. But despite all the love I have for her, despite all the promises she made to me, and despite the labyrinth of suffering, confusion, and outright devastation her actions have thrown me into, I have to accept that she hurt me. I have to accept that this pain is part of the deal we all make at the beginning of our lives. And I have to learn from this and move forward. Life is understood backward, but it must be lived forward. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20 for most people, but this guy still seems a little confused about what happened. See why I told you they didn't date near the beginning? Because he made it sound like they did. Talking about their relationship, how it feels like he lost a loved one, and he didn't lose her. She actually managed to see this post and put it on Reddit so we could laugh at it. TLDR, my girlfriend that didn't know she was my girlfriend was ungirlfriendly to me. LOL, I was the center of her world, our relationship. Dude has been living in a fantasy. Dangerous. That was a very long post. Let's move on finally. Hey, I just want to let you know that I've really enjoyed hanging out with you as a friend, but I don't really feel a romantic connection there. I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but just so I'm not wasting your time. Thanks for letting me know. I could tell. I was going to reach out today, saying that I am seeing someone else due to your lack of interest. I am not interested in being your friend. Please do not match men on dating sites if you are not interested in them physically. Please do not go on dates with men if you are not interested in them physically. You did waste my time though, and my time is very valuable. And I could have seen other women or worked more and made more money. What you have done will be done to you by a male. Maybe it has already happened to you, and it is definitely going to happen again now. Hopefully you can remember this conversation and reflect that the man that used you is exactly what you have done to men. I am sure I am not the first one you have done this to. It is unacceptable behavior to match with men and waste their time and resources if you are not physically attracted to them. I will be reporting this incident, as you should not be allowed to take advantage of other men on dating sites. Crazy town. She didn't say she wasn't attracted to him. Holy shit. It sucks, but this is why women ghost men so much. Because there's no way to let a guy this fragile down without him going on a rant. I also feel like the reason he was so pissed is because he's not doing as well with the other ladies as he claims here. Hope you have reimbursed him for his financial losses. That is only fair. Abusing this poor guy while wasting his time in a date and not giving him even one sex. Am I the asshole for saying my friend's girlfriend is a psycho man-hater? I'm trying to think of a scenario where he wouldn't be the asshole. Maybe if she murdered his friend, he could say that in the courtroom? We're all in our late 20s to mid-30s. Basically, our friend Paul has a girlfriend of 3 years, Anna. Anna is the youngest in our group, very academic, and travels often for work/school, so this weekend was the first time I've ever met her in person. Somewhere, it came up about how wrong it is for a guy to be expected to pay for a date. Anna suggested maybe the guys say they want to go Dutch up front before the date. We informed her that then no woman will ever say yes to going on a Dutch date, and if they do, there's typically a reason why they would agree to that, and it means you probably won't have any success building a connection. Anna laughed and said, yeah, this is why I avoid men in general, and said no offense to her friend/her boyfriend, Paul, and he laughed. I called her out on it, and asked if that's why when we asked to meet her the past 3 years she always avoided it, and she brushed it off. A couple minutes later I asked her if she has any male friends, and she said no. They always eventually flirt with her or say something sexual, so she doesn't have male friends at all. I told her it was natural for them to do that, as she is unfortunately very pretty, and said she was a psycho man-hater. She laughed at it, but Paul said I embarrassed him and he's not speaking to me. Am I the asshole? Translation: the only reason girls volunteer to go Dutch is so men can't guilt-trip them into obligatory sex. And OP isn't wasting his time on that nonsense. Also, Anna isn't the youngest of their group. She is Paul's girlfriend, who will hopefully be dumping that group soon enough. No one needs asshole idiots like this as a friend. He literally says as much in the comments. Oh my fucking god, he does. Let's read it. It's just most likely if a girl is okay with going Dutch, she will not want to have sex after the date, even if it's date 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but asking about going Dutch maybe if you're looking for a girl to marry. I am kind of questioning every man she's ever met creeping on her though. Cause you know, not all men. Speaking of which, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Just know that you do you. It makes me so mad there are men that objectify women, cause it makes a good guy like me look bad. These creeps have made my depression worse. Sexual assault and harassment happen a lot in my school. I remember a friend of mine was catcalled when some guy came up to her seat and he said if he could sit with her and she said no. Luckily he gave up, but I wish I was there so I could teach him a lesson. I would stand up for women being sexualized, and I don't want anything in return. I would definitely lose my temper on these weirdos for all the pain and sorrow I've went through. If I had a friend who sexualized a woman, I would kick him out of my life and give him the cold shoulder. So he's going to channel his depression over being typecast by women to what? Go beat up guys who are sexualizing women? That's not even necessarily a crime, and what, he's going to go beat him up in the middle of class? Well, I'm sure everyone will clap if he does. Come on, give someone with a good heart a chance. You don't even know how it's going to turn out. Take a leap of faith. I'm a good person. What's so wrong about that, huh? I'd do it for you. I treat people how they'd treat me. Good, lots of care and respect. At least take a chance. It could work out well for you in the end. God, I know it's kinda true, but don't ever call a date with you a leap of faith. One more short story and then we'll call it a day. He got mad after I refused going to his place after the first date. Me, 27 female, and a guy, 33 male, had a date. Everything was great. We talked about deep stuff, about life, about our lives a lot. We had a connection. After the date, he asked me to go to his place. I refused and told him even if I liked him a lot, I don't feel comfortable about being together after the first date. I'm always like this, and I need some time to get used to him. He got sad and a little bit mad. He told me, "So you think I'm like any other guy? I thought we had a connection. Everything could be great, but you ruined it. I cannot have a relationship with someone this strict. Probably there are more things you are strict." I'm confused. I feel guilty because he looked like a great guy, but I know this behavior is not normal. But still I feel guilty. Strict, he says? She didn't make him do anything. He's the one being pushy. Can only imagine how this joker would act if she actually went back with him. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. Engagement might still help with the algorithm, for all I know, and I'll be reading them. If you're new here and want more of this content, consider subscribing. My growth is pretty glacial as usual, but we'll see if I can keep up working. Big thanks also to my amazing patrons who support me more directly over on Patreon. Here they are: Jimmo, Noe Blue, Levon, Maxo11X, Chris Sturman, MDB3000, Totally Not a Femboy, Bumbus McDunga, Clipper, Amanda Gillies, Bethy Williams, Big Mike Shirley, Cacti Lady Wither, Cho, Daniel Della Penna, Don Smith, Deborah Douglas, Leanne Summers, Ouroboros, Rob Sop, Sammy, Sandyman, Spoonie the Rogue, V stands for, Wernology, William Ash, Psychic Kumquat, Alex Anakin, Alan Fang, Knit1 Code 2, Lil Spoon, Ms. Mayhem, Francois Tremblay, Nick Lucarelli, and Petulant Panda. Thanks again. I'll be back again this week for relationship stories at least. I'm trying for 3 videos a week. That shouldn't be impossible, even for me. Well, have a great night, everyone, and make sure you don't get separated geographically from the person who means the most to you. They'll obviously just pick someone closer.